Thanks to everyone for joining. Today we're just going to talk all things SKEP, so the new software scheme. And then later on, Chris is going to go through just a demo on the new features in the app, and then also a few things that can help you with the scheme. So I suppose to start things off, we're just going to introduce ourselves. So my name is Katie Shanahan. I'm content marketing executive here with Herdwatch. So I first started off in the customer satisfaction team. So if you were ringing in the past few weeks, you might have gotten through to me. I've now moved across to content marketing. So I'm delighted to be in that role. I will now let Chris introduce himself.
Thanks, Katie. Chris Goode is my name. I'm the tech support lead here at Herdwatch. So I'm the go-between, say, our customer support team and the product team. And say I work with the customer support team myself, but dealing with customers and different queries that come through. So kind of a big variety of stuff coming in, but yeah, that's pretty much it with me.
Brilliant. Thanks, Chris. So moving on, guys, just to give you a breakdown on what we're actually going to be going through over the next 20 or 30 minutes. We'll try to be as fast as we can, because I know it's a very busy time of year. So we're just going to go through a breakdown on SKEP, so what the scheme is and what you can get as farmers, but also most importantly, how the Herdwatch app can help you over the next 5 years of being in the scheme. Then after that, Chris is going to go through a few of the new features that have come onto the app in case you haven't noticed them. And he will also do a few demos on the most important aspects of the app in relation to being a member in this scheme. If you have any questions, guys, you can pop them in to the Q&A feature on Zoom. We will leave a few minutes there at the end to go through any questions that you have. But also, if we don't get through to them all, always remember you can message there in app or else just give us a ring and we will try to get back to as many as possible. So first, moving on to what is the SKEP scheme? So it's the new Subtler Carbon Efficiency Programme. So this replaces the old BDGP scheme that maybe some of you were involved in. Now, hopefully you have all applied, because the deadline for the scheme was the 22nd of May of this year. So I'm hoping now, if you're watching today and you have interest in the scheme, you have applied for it already. So it's a 5-year scheme. It's all around supporting beef farmers to improve the environmental sustainability of the national herd. And I suppose the main thing to note there is at the start of your 5-year journey within the scheme, you're given a reference number. So this reference number is based off the 3 best years from 2016 to 2021. Now, the good thing about it is a little bit flexible. So if your numbers do drop within the next 5 years, there is a way there that farmers can reduce this number by 20%. So that's if you're struggling to meet any of the targets that I will explain in the next few slides, but you cannot go over this reference number. So whatever number you're given once you apply, you can go below it, but you cannot go above it. So moving on then, so what are the requirements for joining this scheme? So the most important one there is you need to be a member of the SBLOS. So you need to be a member of Board BIA, and this needs to be done by the 16th of October this year. So that's very important that you need to be in Board BIA and remain in it over the next 5 years of the scheme. So secondly, then you need to fill out a BISS form. So this is the basic income support for sustainability. So that's just like the old basic payment scheme. So you need to do that every year over the next 5 years. You also need to make sure that you're calving down 50% of the reference number that's given to you, and that needs to be done every year. And finally, then there will be training that is a requirement. So you need to be trained in SKEP and also in animal handling by November of 2024. So that's next November, next year. So then what do you get? I suppose that's the main thing you want to know today. So farmers will be paid on a per hectare basis, and that works out at €225 per hectare on the first 15 hectares. And then for the remaining hectares, you'll get €180. So just to give you, I suppose, an example of what that will look like, it'll work out at €150 per cow on the first 22 cows and €120 per cow on the remaining. So that just gives you kind of a guideline of what it would look like per cow. So these mandatory actions are probably the most important things, the targets that you'll need to have for the next 5 years. So they're very, very important. There's 5 of them there. I'll just go down through them quickly. So the first one there, sire eligibility. So this is making sure that the sire that you have, you know, your 4 and 5 star bulls. So you can see there, it differs amongst the years. So from year 1 to 5, it'll change. So starting off for the first 2 years, it's going to be 80% of the calves need to be sired by either a 4 or 5 star bull. This moves up then to 85% in year 3 and 4. And then finally, in the last year of the scheme, 90% of your calves need to be sired by a 4 or 5 star bull. So then moving on, your replacement heifers and so on, this needs to make sure that your heifers are genotyped at 4 or 5 stars. So again, this will change throughout the years. So it starts off at 50% of your heifers need to be genotyped at 4 or 5 stars by October of this year. Then October 2025, it needs to go up to 65%. And then by 2027, it'll be at 75%. Moving on then, the genotyping. So 70% of your reference numbers, remember the number you're given at the start, needs to be genotyped. So this is €20 per calf, and it needs to be submitted by the end of November every year. Weighing then, so 80% of the calves must be weighed, similar to the old scheme, must be done on the same day as the cow. They need to be at least 50 days old and unweaned. And again, this is submitted the start of November every year. So that's 2 things there now in November that you'll need to be watching out for. Finally, then a survey needs to be completed. So this just collects any data in relation to calving details and traits, so calf figure and so on, and all those reports, which Chris will go through anyways during his demo. So how can Herdwatch help? So this is important to note that Herdwatch is fully compliant with Board BIA and ICBF, which is very, very important moving forward, as you have to be a member of Board BIA within this scheme. Chris again will show you how we are linked to ICBF, which means you can access all your star ratings very easily from the app, and then you can make informed decisions then about whether you want to keep heifers or sell them. There is quick and easy weight recording, so you can do it from the ease of your phone, and then you'll have access to all the weight records, which can be printed off or emailed. Then moving on to calf registration, again, very simple to do on the phone, and you can input any calving details there in relation to any difficulties or calf figure and size and so on, as well as body condition scoring. And then finally, another handy feature is the new buy and sell. So buy and sell, it's free to Herdwatch members. There is over 20,000 farmers on Herdwatch, which means you can advertise your animals for free on the app. And then this allows you to look for these 4 and 5 star heifers when wanting to purchase. But also if you want to sell any animals that no longer fit those requirements for this scheme, you can advertise them for free on the app, because this is a very busy time for farmers now during the summer with silage and so on. So this just makes it a lot more convenient. So I'm now going to pass you on to Chris, who is going to go through demoing the app for you. So even if you have your app there handy, you can pull it out and follow Chris along with his demo.
Perfect, thanks Katie. So there's a few different areas I'm going to cover, say, in regards to the demo, predominantly around, say, how you can use Herdwatch, say, within the SKEP scheme. I suppose one of your biggest requirements with entering SKEP is having to be in Board BIA. And with using Herdwatch, Herdwatch is fully compliant with Board BIA. So all your reporting and records that have to be recorded for your Board BIA audit can be done through the Herdwatch app. So everything from medicines to feeds to sprays, as well as running your reports on movements and calf mortality in herd reports. That can all be done through Herdwatch. So what I'll do is I'll share my screen here. So Katie, I might just you tell me if it's coming up okay. So can you see the app there? Okay, I'll say that the app should be showing there for you now. Okay, so the first thing anyway, so with regards to board BA, I suppose reporting the medicine is your it's one of your big elements of your reporting for board BA. So in order to record the medicine, you can add the purchase first and then do the treatment on Herdwatch. So you can see here anyway, we have a quick action there that you can press remedy purchase, and you have a full list of any of the medicines available on the market. Now I'm just using on the computer, so I can't scan, but you have the option here to scan the barcode to bring the purchase up.
Seconds there, Chris. I might just see. I don't think it's sharing for everybody just yet.
You see it there now?
Right now, guys.
I'll just stop the share here again and I'll share it again. Is it showing there now?
It's just saying you're sharing, but there's nothing coming up.
Can you see it now, Katie?
No.
No. Right, let's see if there's another option to share. Share an entire screen. You see the app there now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just double check if someone could type in there if they can see Chris's app there. Okay.
You shout there, Katie, whenever we're
Okay.
good to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Someone said yes, so I presume we can all see it. All right.
Grand, perfect. Okay, so just go back to the start here anyway. So to add a remedy purchase, you can select quick action here on the home page. You can go to the plus sign option here as well, or else you can go into compliance and into your remedies and treatment section. So what we'll do is we'll just add a treatment purchase here. So you have a full list of any treatments that are available. But as I said there, you can scan using your phone. You can scan the barcode. And the computer, we're unable to do it here. But if you're using your phone, if you enable the option on your phone for the camera with Herdwatch, you can scan the barcode. So then you can just simply search it here anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the /4 on. Okay, so you have the option here, just putting in your date purchased. So you can backdate it as far as you want. Option to change the date if you're backdating your treatments. It'll automatically default to today's date. So just select your unit of measure, how many mils you bought. So just throw in 500 here, and where you supplied it, where you bought it from. So we'll just put in the farm store, the co-op, where you may have bought it. So you have the option here of putting in the dose. So say with like this treatment, it'll vary. So you can just put in an average if you want, and you can edit it at the time of treatment. So I'll just put in an average of 25 mil per animal. You can put in your option for treatment reason. And then if you if you have the option there on your phone, you might see a scan option, which it'll bring in the batch code or batch number, but that might populate the withdrawals there as well. But if not, you can just go input withdrawal info, and we should have the information here now. It's available on the majority of the remedies in the app. So for this one here, it's 35-day for me. So you can just press input, and it'll bring it across. So you can select prescribing vet if it's applicable, and then enter your batch number, expiry date, and then you have some optional fields here as well for cost, say quantity returned. So when you have that done, you can press save. Now it will warn you here if it is a prescription only. So you can go back and select your prescribing vet. Now there is an option now in the app. I'll be covering under the new features where you can set the vet as the main vet in the app. So if I set it as my main vet going forward, he'll populate in any of the records that he's required. So just save your purchase, and then in order to go just do the treatment, if you read the purchase here, you can press the plus sign and just go use this remedy, and then I can do the date of my treatment and go OK. Just select as to who it was administered by. So Owen. You have more options here for treatment reason. Now you'll notice here your dose that you entered on the purchase, or your dose rate will come across, as well as the withdrawal information, batch number if it was entered, and a few details of the purchase. So that'll bring you into your, you can press next and bring into your herd list. So from here, you can select the tags individually. You have the option to go into your groups, click into your group, select all. As well as that, then there's different lists if you want to filter down, try and find animals within the herd. Now the search icon is here on top, where you can type in the tag number of the animal, or else if you're using an EID reader and the animals have EID tags, you have the option of connecting your EID reader and then using the wand, say when you're doing the record. So say I'll just save it against these two animals there for the demo, and then that's the record done for adding the remedy treatment. Now the option then, so if you're on your home page and you want to say have a look at an overview of your medicines, if you go into compliance and remedies and treatments, here you'll see a full overview of what's currently in your cabinet on Herdwatch, what treatments that you've done, and then you can look at say your withdrawal tracker. So when you enter your withdrawals on Herdwatch, it'll give you it'll track the withdrawals for you, say going forward today, so you're able to see when the animals leave the withdrawal period. But I'll come back to this area here, summary, we're looking at what's new. As well with Board VIA, you can record your feed purchases. So if you press the plus sign and feed purchase, you can just enter the date here. So with your description option, it gives you the different options here for straits, fodder, roots. So you have different options here you can select. So the standard one here, we'd say ration. You can enter the quantity. So if I say 25, I can select bags here. So 25 bags. And then you just put in who you supplied it by and save that record. Now you can attach your invoice number if you want. If you're on the complete plan, you can upload an image. You can put in further details. Now it does give you the option if you want to link that feed purchase back to the animals. So if you have a group, you can go back and link it to them. So once you have that done, you can just save the record, and that's your feed purchase recorded. Now I know I'm just conscious of time there as well, Katie. So feed or sprays can be recorded through Herdwatch under the farm and map section for your Board VIA audit. Now, if it is, say if you're interested in recording sprays for your Board VIA audit, if you'd like to contact the support team here in the office, the onboarding team, they'll be able to guide you through that. But the sprays can be found under the farm and map section here, where you can add in the purchase of your spray, your sprayer, and then you can put in your record against applying it to the fields. All your Board VIA reports can be found under the management section here in app. So you have a report section here, and we have Board VIA option. So in here, you can run your remedy purchase report, feeds, movements, mortality, and your sprays. Now there is an option as well right now, you can generate all reports together. So all you just need to do is put in your date period for your audit. So there'll be a 12-month or an 18-month audit period. You just input your dates here, and the email will go directly to you with all the reports. I suppose moving on kind of back in regards to SKEP, calf registration, if you're say with genotyping calves and recording information with calf registration, if you want to record a calf, obviously here say in the home screen, you press your calf registration option, select your gender. So you can fill in your details here. So when you scan your first tag, if you're new to Herdwatch and you scan your first tag, it will automatically remember the prefix of your tag. So you can just enter the last few digits. So we'll just put in a test calf here. Date of birth, calf and difficulty. Now this is enough. So any fields that have an orange icon here on top, they're a required field. So you can select the drop down here, and if it was normal calving, some assistant, considerably difficult, and veterinary assistant, there are your 4 options. So we'll just go with normal calving for today. So your dam, you can select her from the list. Now you have the option here to search as well. So if we just want to type in the number here, and it will give us the option to bring in the calf. And that'll, if you're using the breeding section in Herdwatch, it'll bring through the most recent breeding event against that dam as well onto the registration. So it gives you the option here as well, say if you know it was stock bull and not the latest serve, say with AI, you can go click into the option and you can select your stock bull from the list. So as you can see here now, calf size and vigor, which is one of your requirements with SKEP, you can select your calf size and vigor here, and we'll send it across to ICBF for the scheme. So if you just want to go average size, and then your, say, average figure. And once you save that, say, when the calf's registered, we'll send that across to SCEP for you. So you also have the option here to enter your pedigree name, if it is a pedigree calf. And if the animal died on the farm, say you can just select the option here for aborted or dead at birth, and you can have the calf registered before it's collected for the knackery. So I'll just leave that as a blank option here. And if you are doing embryo transfer, you can select the input the genetic dam on the registration as well. So you can see here there's more optional fields at the bottom of the registration. Now, say with the genotyping, when you create the calf, we'll send the calf details over to ICBF. And once the sample is sent off, this is kind of a bad example of it on the app, but you'll see the status of the calf's or say the calf sample up on Herdwatch. So you'll be able to see when the sample is received, sample in lab, and then when the sample is back, you'll have the green light to go on Herdwatch to register the calf. So we'll just select not now for the purpose of this demo. If you go back to the home page, under the compliance section, calves to register, your calves will be shown in the list here. So when the genotype, when the sample's in the lab, you'll see here on the registration the status of it, and then you can register the calf once the sample's returned and the lab give the go ahead for it. So that's with calf registration. Katie, everyone can still see the demo here, just double checking.
Yeah, all good. Looks good.
Perfect. So as well as that, with the SKEP scheme, your weight recording is another element that can be done through Herdwatch. Now we have the option here for your weights is under your performance section. So you can just press the plus sign as well, and then just enter a weight recording. So when you're doing your weights, weight recording, just input the date of your weight. Just go next, and this will give you a full list of the animals in herd. Now, if you have your animals grouped and you know, say you're weighing different groups at different times, you can just click into the group option here as well. And once you select the group, you just enter the weight here on the side. Once you put in the weight, if there was a previous weight recording on it, it'll give you the average daily gain. And say when you go to your next recording as well, it'll bring that information against the animal. So once I'll just go back to the herd here and I'll just enter a few weights. Okay, and when you've your weight recording done, press save. And that weights will save against them animals. So then weights are sent across to ICBF for you as well as a part of the scheme. So as you can see here, there's a lot of areas within the app that's integrated with ICBF. So the information will flow back and forth. And I suppose one of the last elements then as well with your SKEP scheme using Herdwatch is the scoring. So the scoring can be done through the performance section as well. So if you want to even press the plus sign from the app, you can go and search on top. So if you type in scoring here, add scoring record. Just the same principle as the previous records, your date that you're doing it. And when you select your animal, it gives you the option here to put in your mobility, the BCS score, abrasion, cleanliness, and once you have the record put in, so we'll just go mobility is 2, abrasions 1, cleanliness 2, and then you can just save that record. And then you can just go on to your next animal then and input the very same. So once you have your scoring done in the app, you can save it by pressing done. And that information is available on the report as well for the scheme. Now all your reports in Herdwatch can be found through the management section here in the home screen. And if you press into your reports, you'll see here all the different information available from board BA to department inspection, breeding reports, weights, and scoring. So like for the scoring reports, you can run a report on the individual scoring that you did, or on all the scorings. As well as that with weights, you can run a report on say per animal, on say per animals, per weighing, and say the average daily gain as well on the farm. And then your board BA section as well as I went through here, all in reports that are available. So look, it's a major help there when it comes to recording, say for your board BA or say for the SKEP scheme, because all the information can be done through the phone, and say you can do it on site when you're out on the farm. But you also have the option of going back and inputting the records well at a later date if it suits you better. So that's with kind of the elements say for the SKEP scheme. Now, what's new in Herdwatch A few of the features there I've showed you already. So I'll just give you a quick overview here of some of them. So as you can see here on the home screen, some of you might have noticed a few changes here with the quick actions. So we have quick actions added that you can add to your calf registration, remedy purchase, cattle treatment. Now there's a new element with the cattle treatment in the app. So when you press on cattle treatment, you might notice this new feature here. So you can do your cattle treatment as normal with your remedy from the cabinet, or else you can do a treatment only. So if you do a treatment only, it brings you directly into the list of medicines available. So just select here animomycin. Now you have the option as well that you can do multiple treatments. So you might notice here, if I select another treatment, so if you have an animal that you're giving multiple treatments to, you can do the two or three of them, however many at the same time by selecting it. So once you press next, you just enter the date that you're doing the treatment. So we'll just go with today, administered by, and then you can set this. So there's a new option as well in the app. So you can set the main operator on the farm. So we'll set Owen here as the main operator. Dosage, just put in 10 ml, and then unit of measure. So your treatment reason then can be selected as well. And you notice this option here is proof of purchase. So if you have a docket from your vet or your supplier, you can add an image here into the app as your proof of purchase. So your withdrawals can be entered here as well, and then your prescribing vet. And then your batch number as well, that information can all be added. So once you press next, it'll bring you into your animal selection. And we'll just select 2 animals here. And then when you press save, now you'll also notice here as well, the new feature in the app, the moved out section is shown, say, more prominent. So if you're backdating treatments, it's a lot easier to see the animals that have left the herd on that time as well. So you can click into moved out, but there's no animals that have moved out, say today, in this herd. So say if you had animals that you're backdating, you'll be able to see them through this section here in the app. So I'll just save this record now. Now it will prompt you with this pop-up here if you'd like to create a purchase record for the treatment. So you can press yes or no. So I'll just select no, and it'll bring us to an overview of this purchase. So under the treatment, you can see here the animomycin. So if I clicked into this treatment, I can upload a vet docket. But as well as that, back on the cabinet overview, you can see the unlinked treatments. So these are treatments that were done in the app that aren't linked to any purchase. So you can backdate them over time, say, if you want. Now, as well as that, the new section in the app you might have noticed is the summary page. So if you want to look back over what medicines you've used, or say treatments you've done in the app, or say done on the farm, you can click in here and say, if I want to look at what Metacam was used, it'll show me, say, the amount of treatments. Now, it'll prompt you here if withdrawals are missing, so you can update the withdrawals. And once you input the withdrawals here, it'll update all the treatments that were done in the app. So it's just a handy record for looking back over your records before an audit. So that's one of the new sections here that's available on Herdwatch and Flockwatch. As well as that, then there is a new section in the watch board. And this herd here, there's no current movement. So if you have a movement out done to another farm and the animals are still in your herd, it'll show you here until the search is cleared in your watch board. As I showed you there earlier with the board B reports, when you go into your report section under board B, you can generate all your reports together there now. As well as that, then on the Flockwatch app, you have the option to edit a lambing event, edit a movement record, and there's also watchboard notifications under Flockwatch if you're using a Flockwatch app. Other than that, for myself there in regards to what's new, I suppose, Katie, you're conscious of time there. Is there any questions available there? Is there anyone questions?
Well, the first question that came in was just about the weight reports, but you answered that one there. You gave a good detailed that there is. Just go into your management and you'll see all reports that are available there for the scheme, which are very, very handy. I suppose then another question, which is in relation to both the app and the scheme. So Sarah asked, how do I check my cow's star ratings?
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just share there again.
And if anyone in the meantime has any more questions, be popping them in there to that Q&A option on the bottom of the Zoom there. Pop them in and I'll see them.
Perfect. So if you're looking to see star ratings on an animal, you can select the animal's profile. No, sorry, there's a new feature as well I didn't show you. So on the home screen now, you have the search option here. So the new search engine will allow you to search for different features in the app. So whatever the movement that you want to do, or else if it's an animal that you're looking to do, looking to record a record to. So for this option here, I look for animal 775. So that'll bring me directly into her profile. And from there, I'm able to see, say, her history, what records are put against her. But you might see this icon here, Sarah. So that's the icon that will bring you to ICBF as well, where you will be able to see further details on the animal. Now, if your ICBF is linked with your Herdwatch account as well, if we receive the information on it, we'll be able to show, say, the star ratings under the performance option here. That is account isn't currently connected with ICBF. So if you select that icon there in your app, it'll bring you to the ICBF overview page. Is there any other questions there, Katie?
Let me just have a quick look. So again, guys, just pop in your messages there. I can see there's a few. So John asked, is there an option to view a report of all star ratings for all animals in the herd?
Not a report that's available at the moment now, but we can query that with the team and see if it is something that we can get. But we can come back to you on that there, John.
Brilliant. Thanks, Chris. And just another anonymous question there, just in relation to quality assurance days, is that something that the app can see?
So is that in regards to how many days an animal is currently in quality assurance, or?
Just to get the number of quality assurance days, yeah.
It's not information that's available to us at the moment, but I can check that out and see, and we can come back to you on it if you want to send on your details. I know we've had that query before, but as regards to getting that information, I'll have to check with the product team directly.
Brilliant, thanks, Chris. Morris then asked, can the app be used on 2 separate phones? So this is just a couple who works, half them work full time, so it's just the ease there of having it available on 2 phones.
Yep, so you can log into Herdwatch on multiple devices. So you can log into it on your phone, tablet, say PC, and say once the app is, say if you're using it on 2 devices, if you input a record on yours, once the other device is within, say if it does a backup in sync, it'll see the records that you've inputted. So the app is cloud-based, so you can use it on multiple devices. Brilliant,
thanks, Chris. Neil asked, while I'm weighing, can I link Herdwatch to the wand while it's linked to the weighing scales?
So we currently don't, we're currently not integrated with any weighing scales directly, but you can use the EID reader with the app when you're doing weighing and input the weight of the animal onto the app.
Brilliant. Thanks, Chris. Another anonymous question in, is it possible to see milk yields of dam of a Fleckvey bull I purchased?
Sorry, Katie, I didn't catch it there.
Is it possible to see the milk yields of the dam of a Fleckvey bull I purchased?
Right, I'd have to check that out afterwards. Say, if we have the recordings, if that user would like to say message me directly, I can check it out after the webinar.
Yeah, brilliant. So just send Chris a message there on that, or even if you're struggling with that, just send a message. Any questions that aren't asked today, guys, you can pop them into the message feature in the app, and they'll we'll get back to you as soon as possible. But look, I am conscious about time. There is a few more questions there, but if we haven't answered them all, guys, do pop us a message directly, and the team will get back to you as soon as they can. I
suppose it's something, another thing to note there is don't hesitate in picking up the phone and giving the office a ring at any stage. Our team is available, say, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. So if you want to give a ring in, say if there's an area of the app that you want to improve on, or say if you're having a query on the app, you can just give us a shout at any stage, or use the message center within the app.
Yeah, and I suppose, look, if you are after forgetting things we're saying in relation to SKEP or in relation to the app, do have a look at the blog there on our website, herdwatch.ie. There's a full blog there on SKEP, everything you need to know about it and how Herdwatch can help you going forward over the next 5 years. But look, if that's all, guys, thanks you to everyone for attending today's webinar, and thank you for Chris for all your valuable information on both the app and SKEP. I hope you all enjoyed, and again, do make sure you get in touch, message us in app, or there are the numbers there that you can call as well as email. But thank you all for watching, and I hope we answered as many questions as we could. So thanks a million, Chris.
Thanks, Katie.